cannot explain it to him. They have just convinced him, look, it's going to be tough. It's going to be hard. It's going to be a long trip. It's going to be a pain. But when we get there, Jesus is going to do his Jesus thing. And when Jesus does his Jesus thing, you're going to be that's ghetto for all right. So they finally get to Jesus. Can you imagine the anticipation, right? This man's been traveling. He's stumbling. He's struggling. But he finally gets. See, there's always a level in our circle of people. See, I see people that have messed up their life for 40 years. Drugs, alcohol, just being stupid, just general stupidity. Throwing their life away. Then all of a sudden, they're going to come to Jesus. Okay, Jesus, I'm a 40-year-old idiot. Hit me, zap me, hit me, Jesus. Well, sometimes he does. This man has come with some level, I believe, of anticipation. So he gets to Jesus. You know how this goes. You can see in your mind, okay, here I am. Hit me. And what does Jesus do? He spits on the guy. That's great. I love Jesus. You never know what he's going to do. I'm going to say that again. Slap yourself. Slap the person next to you. Tell them to pay attention. You all need to get this. You never know what turn this up. I want to yell. You never know what Jesus is going to do. See, you think you know, don't you? You came in here tonight, oh, I got it all figured out. You think you got this whole thing, you got all the T's crossed, all the I's dotted, you think you got it all figured. Let me tell you something. The minute you think you got this figured out, Jesus is going to spit on you. And you are going to go, did you get a close-up of that? What camera was that? Is that you? Get a close. And Jesus will spit on you. And you're going, I didn't deserve that. I didn't. I came here to be healed. I came here for a miracle. Do you understand what I'm saying? See, you think you have life figured out. You think you understand the course. You think you're understanding what Jesus does, how he does it. He spits on him. Now, here comes the interesting question. The interesting question is, what do you see? What does the man say? He says, I see men as trees walking. I'm going to give you 3 thoughts, and then we're going to go do, what is egg and onion? On a bop. There it is. There it is. Come on. Come on, Jesus. I'm going to learn this thing if it kills me. Egg and onion on a bop. Okay. All right. We'll go with it. I'm going to give you 3 thoughts real quick, and then we'll do our little bopping upstairs or wherever we do it. 3 thoughts. When Jesus doesn't work, what do you do, sir, ma'am? When you feel like you've got it figured out, and as Pastor said, the series that starts next Sunday, when you think God is being obnoxious, what happens? Number 1, if you're taking notes. If you're not, you ought to be. Number 1, what do you do when things don't go the way you think they ought to go or you thought they were going to go? Number 1, do not cover for God. You need to write that down. Do not cover for God. You say, what do you mean, Bill? Very simple. How can I illustrate this? Here we go. Perfect illustration. Several years back, Benny Hinn used to help us at Christmas time. He's done it a couple of times. Most of you know we try to get a gift. Those of you that are on the Metro Report mailing list, you know Operation Holiday Hope. It's a big thing we do every Christmas. This past Christmas, we had 81,123 kids in Sunday school. It was a national record for the United States. And so we had to get 81,000 gifts. Now, I don't care if you're getting 81,000 paper clips. 81,000 of anything is just a lot. So I have to go from September all the way through to December to raise the money to get these gifts. Well, this was what, probably 8, 9 years ago. Benny decides he's going to help us. So he gave us some money to help the gifts. Well, when you do that, usually then he would have me come to a crusade and, talk about how he helped. Everything's trade-off. Okay, so we're on live Christian television, right? Now, if you've ever watched Benny on TV, you know there's a system, kind of a routine that he goes through on the crusades. Usually he goes to the singing and the praise and worship. Everything's great. And at the end of the meeting, he usually prays for all the pastors because they have all the pastors from all around the area. There's usually 50 or 60 of them all sitting on the platform. They have a bunch of holy men chairs up on the platform, sitting up there. So usually, here's how it goes, because I've watched the system. He would bring me up. I would tell a story, thank him for Christmas, and so forth. Then I would walk over here, because usually the preachers are sitting over here. So I would stand here. My seat would be here. And then slowly, as the meeting progressed, I would gradually begin to work my way over to the side, because I know at the end of the meeting, he prays for all the preachers. So I usually kind of work my way over very slowly, very quietly, and then when nobody's looking, I just kind of slip off to the side. It works. Never had a problem with it, right? So this, I can't remember what city it was in, but we're doing our stuff, and I talked for a few minutes. Then I went off to the side. Well, then he changes the whole routine, changes the whole thing. And you know how he talks? He goes, "Okay, fellas." That's my best interpretation. He goes, "Okay, fellas." And I'm going, "Oh, you got to be kidding me. He's going to pray for the preachers now." Well, I can't walk off now. I'm going to look like an idiot. I'm held hostage on the platform. I'm stuck. So I'm going, well, here we go. And you know how when he waves his hand, everybody falls down? So I'm thinking, okay, well, here we go. So he comes over and he waves his hand, and everybody falls down except one. Everybody's on the deck. I'm just standing here. And you know who the cameraman focuses on. Hey, how's it going, buddy? Get the camera off me, you jerk. Because I'm the only one standing up. And Benny turns around and he looks at me. And I wasn't thinking, apparently, because he looks at me and I just went, this is on national television. So now you wonder why I'm so popular in so many circles. So I told you that story because being around ministry as long as I have been, I have watched people do what I candidly call a courtesy drop. Now, what is a courtesy drop? When you've got a boatload of people that don't want to look like an idiot like me, because it's much easier to go down than it is to stand up and be on national television. But I don't do courtesy drops for nobody. So consequently, there's a price tag, folks. Everything's trade-off. This is what I'm talking about when I'm saying don't cover for God. Look at me. Please do not miss this in Jesus' name. See, the Lord can take care of himself. Would you agree? See, we like to say things, do things that seem to be, in order, or what everyone else is doing, or use the buzzwords that everybody is using in Pentecost, in charismatic circles around the world, because it's just easier to do what? To just kind of go with the flow, isn't it? Rather than saying, you know what? This isn't it. It's not reality at this particular point. Because let me tell you something. I have gone down under the power of the Spirit. And when it's real, I'm the first one. I have no problem. And when it's not,